You notice, again, it's continuing to move north. The last guesstimate on the speed now putting it down maybe about 16 miles an hour northerly trek, but you notice the amount of orange and red.
Southeast of Pensacola, Florida. Top sustained winds, still minimal hurricane strength at 75 miles per hour. It is continuing that northwest movement fairly briskly at now 14 miles per hour. The central pressure 979 millibars or 28.91 inches of mercury. As if you're plotting the storm, that's
Atlantic Standard Time. At that time, it was centered near 24 north, 61 west. Sustained winds at 125 miles per hour. So if we have maximum sustained winds at that level, we most likely have some gusts getting up to about 140 miles per hour. Northwest wind, excuse me.
Now the season was really heating up. By August 28th, 4 named storms, Umberto, Iris, Karen, and Luis, were out in the Atlantic all at once. The first time this had occurred since September 12, 1971.
For the island of Guadeloupe, also for St. Bart's, and also for the French part of St. Martin's. That's a hurricane watch. Otherwise, it's all a hurricane warning, and the hurricane watch has been changed to a hurricane warning for Puerto Rico, the U.S., and the British Virgin Islands. The hurricane warning is now in effect for Puerto Rico and for all the Virgin Islands. As we look out over the Atlantic here, we see a hurricane still moving toward the west-northwest about 15 miles an hour. It's actually kind of slipped in between the islands here pretty much. It looks as if the center went just a little bit north of Martinique, and it is very close right now to Dominica, and the center is likely to go just about over Dominica, we believe.
Major hurricane, and that simply means that we could have some devastating damage depending on where it makes landfall and how it makes landfall, how fast it's moving when it makes landfall, and other factors. Well, it's moving pretty quickly. We're waiting for the latest information to come in. We should expect an advisory any minute now, but here's what we had as of 10 o'clock. 25.3, 89.5 are the coordinates, moving to the northeast at 21 and packing winds of 115 miles per hour. So it's moving in this general direction up toward the Big Bend of Florida, and that's where we have the highest strike probability, and that's where we have hurricane warnings in effect from Mobile out clips. We can't get any in. Nobody can get any in as the satellite is in the wrong position, and we are pretty much stuck in a rut here. We can't get any satellite data until about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So this is an old satellite, but it gives you the gist of it. We've got an accelerating storm, or I should say accelerating hurricane, and also an intensifying hurricane. This is the latest information. As of 1 o'clock Central Daylight Time, we have the coordinates at 25.8.
5 times or more. So quite a year, obviously. And here's the latest visible imagery of Hurricane Roxanne. It's hard to get really a grip on what kind of year we've had so far, but look at the eye of Roxanne now moving right towards the island of Cozumel. Basically the same path that Gilbert took back in 1988, but remember Gilbert in 88 was a Category 5 hurricane. This is a Category 3 with 115 miles per hour sustained winds. No reports obviously now from the airport. Everybody's kind of shutting things down and evacuations have been underway. Plus we have the hurricane warnings up for the Yucatan. It's moving this direction. It will move over land over the next day or so. It's going to take about 20 to 24 hours to get it across the land. And as it moves across the land, Roxanne will weaken somewhat, but then it will reemerge into the waters of the Bay of Campeche later tomorrow or into Thursday, and at that point it will probably re-intensify once it feels the warm water again here in the Bay of Campeche. Here's the latest in from the National Hurricane Center as of 4.